Michael Porter has been a giant in the way he's influenced thought about organizations, businesses, institutions.
Michael Porter's work has defined the modern field of strategy.
A lot of his concepts that were developed all those years ago still apply.
The sheer amount of impact, I think ultimately the beneficent impact of his ideas, of his work, of his advice will be his legacy.
Michael Porter goes by many things: professor, strategist, founder, but to me, he's dad. He had so many competing priorities, so many demands on his time, but when my sister or I needed his help or needed his services as a teacher, he dropped everything. And you know, it's really the value of family. At his core, he was a teacher, you know, whether it was a classroom full of HBS students or a cohort of ICIC business leaders or his own daughters. He cared so much about passing on kind of the power of knowledge to other people.
So the world is as we all know, a highly complex place. And one of the ways that we make the world easier to understand is by developing these mental models. There are many examples, whether it's healthcare, politics, or just basic business, you know, sort of fundamentals, where he's helped millions, perhaps billions of people better understand the world that we're living in. It's not an overstatement to talk about the impact of his ideas and his work.
When we got to business school, we all knew who Professor Porter was. He was like a celebrity professor on campus. He really brought a new way of thinking to business leaders.
I met Michael Porter when I started teaching at Harvard Business School in the mid-1980s. Michael Porter's focus on social entrepreneurship attracted me to become involved in the Harvard Social Enterprise Initiative, and I continue to teach entrepreneurial leadership in the HBS Social Enterprise Executive Programs today.
I felt very lucky to be able to launch my service as Harvard president with the help of Michael Porter. One of the things that is so striking about him is just his energy level. I can see in my mind maybe being early for one of our lunches together, and he would come in and kind of rush into the restaurant as if he had some kind of electric field all around him, because he would have just come from something that he was excited about.
If ultimately, the ultimate resource in economic development is people, Professor Porter has been one of those people. I always call him the godfather of strategy, and the one that as business students we always looked up to. That his work had him asking this question: where does the future growth of our economy come from? That work had led him back here to America's inner cities.
When the Rodney King riots happened in 1992 in Los Angeles, me and a bunch of students had the bright idea that we could start a field study project. And it was all around how could we work with the Rebuild LA team to figure out what businesses should be rebuilt in the inner city, based on some work that Professor Porter had done. Maybe there was something to the framework of how he analyzed the competitiveness of countries, how that framework could be redeveloped to now apply to cities. And that idea is what basically started us on this journey around how to make inner cities a better place, which ultimately led to him starting ICIC.
ICIC was a organization that my dad cared so deeply about. He was always looking for the next problem to tackle, and he was never satisfied just kind of sitting still and doing the same old thing. He cared about the ability to take his ideas and use them out in the world as a force for good.
As I look back on my career and all of my board positions over the years, I am most honored to be invited to serve on the board of ICIC.
The work that was started by ICIC, trying to figure out how to make the inner city just a better place for its citizens, that could not be more important today.
I love that ICIC uplifts underserved communities by giving them the resources to make their communities a better place.
The two things that I think make ICIC stand out as an organization is our entrepreneurial spirit and our caring spirit.
We work together, we build together, we identify obstacles, and rather than complaining about it, we seek out solutions.
I think ICIC is unique in the kinds of people and partners that we work with. Everything from corporate funders to local, smaller business incubators.
The coaching and the mentoring was incredible. These people were at the top of their game. They really gave us a complete perspective on how to be a business owner.
That's the impact of a program like this. The mentorship and access to people we would never, ever see before coming to this program, I think is the greatest asset.
I'm just looking forward towards the future and seeing how can we collaborate better together? How can we use the power of access and the platform that we have to build more equity within each other's communities?
I want to thank ICIC for the amazing program that you guys put together.
I want to thank you all for what you're doing for small business owners like myself.
I love the fact that there's a Steve Grossman, that there's a Michael Porter who started this program, and I'm very thankful.